Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today we'll continue with our course Investment and Portfolio Management. Course code is MGT 531, lecture number 9. First of all, we will discuss the previous lecture's contents, that what we have discussed in the last lecture. In the last lecture, lecture number 8, we discussed portfolio management, return on the investment, risk on the investment, and then we discussed the measurement of risk. We discussed the concepts of variance, standard deviation, covariance as a measure of risk. Then we discussed the coefficient of correlation, that what is the coefficient of correlation, what is the importance of correlation as far as the investment is concerned, and as far as the investment portfolio holding is concerned. That is how the correlation of the returns between two assets can influence the decision of any investor in order to make their purchases, in order to make their portfolio holding set. And then we discuss the positive and negative covariances and the impact of zero covariance on the holdings of portfolio set. That is how the positive covariance, the value of negative covariance, and zero covariance can affect the decision of any rational investor in order to purchase their assets and in order to purchase their different items in the portfolio set. And the reference will be similar as we discussed earlier in the previous lecture, that will be study by the Christina, and that was conducted in 2010. The contents of today's lecture, that is what we will discuss in the today's lecture. We will discuss positive and perfect correlation between the rate of returns of different assets, and we will discuss the perfect negative correlation between the rate of returns of different assets that we are going to choose in our portfolio holding. We will discuss the worth of the zero correlation, that what is the significance of zero correlation in determining the choices of investors for their portfolio sets, and the degree of the relationship, that is what is the degree of relationship of different portfolio assets. And then we will discuss the coefficient of determination and market portfolio. Continuing with our topic return and risk, we were discussing in the last lecture the returns, what is the impact of return on the decisions of individual to undertake their investments, and what is the impact of and the value of risk associated with the choices of different assets in order to enable the individuals, in order to enable the investors to make their choices and to make their purchases in order to keep the different assets in their portfolio. First is the perfect positive correlation, which is indicated by a positively sloped curve between the returns RA and RB in two assets A and B, with two returns lying on the axis. So what is the positive and perfect correlation? We can say it is indicated by a positively sloped line. That line will slope positive, and we will have, which indicate that both are positively related with each other. The variable on the x-axis as well as variable on the vertical axis, they are likely to have positive association with each other. Similarly, we can have the negative correlation and the perfect negative correlation. It is also indicated by the linear line between the returns of two curves, that is the returns on the vertical axis and the returns on the horizontal axis. They indicate and they represent a negative relationship for the two assets, and with the returns lying on the axis. And then we have the zero correlation between the assets return, that is what is the significance of zero correlation between the returns of the assets A and B. It is indicated by the horizontal line. If we draw the lines, if we draw the perfect positive correlation, we can see that it is positively sloped curve, and if we indicate the negative, it is negatively sloped curve. First of all, we can say we have two types of returns. We have, for example, RA on the vertical axis, we have RB on the horizontal axis. These are indicating the returns on the assets A and B. If we draw a line between these two curves, we have positively sloped line. Now this tells us that there is positive relationship between RA and RB. Positive and perfect relationship can be indicated between RA and RB, that is both type of returns are indicating increasing relationship. If the rate of return on one asset is increasing, the rate of return on the other asset is going to increase. Then we have second point where we have perfect negative correlation. It is indicated by negatively sloped line, downward slope line, or it is a declining slope line. We can say that there is negative relationship between the asset of the A, return on the asset of the A and return on the assets of the B. Again, having the returns on the asset A on vertical axis, and we indicate the returns on asset B on the horizontal axis, we can say there is a negative relationship between the two. For example, if the rate of return on A declines, the rate of return on B will increase. So we can say that there is trade-off between the returns of two types of assets. Trade-off exists between the returns of assets of two type, and that is why as in last lecture we discussed that it should be the policy point that we should not keep both sets A and B in the portfolio in a similar time and at the same time, or in other words we can say the two assets A and B should not be the part of the same portfolio at one time, as far as they are positively correlated or their returns are positively correlated with each other. Similarly, if we look at the second diagram, we can see that if negative relationship exists between the two assets, we can say that these two assets can be kept in the portfolio or can be the part of the portfolio because their returns are moving in opposite directions. The returns are moving in contradictory directions. Therefore, we can say the risk associated will also move in the opposite direction. That is, if we have high returns and low risk, low return, two type of the returns, high returns and low return combination of in our portfolio, so we will have the high risk and low risk combination. So at the same time, we can say that we are not holding both assets which are risky at the same time, which are corresponding to high level of risk at the same time. Definitely, if the market situation is not favorable to us and economics, there are the other factors which are likely to impact the market situation. So these type of choices may likely to harm us if we are having those assets which are positively correlated, and the assets which are negatively correlated may benefit us if there are fluctuations further in the market situation. Then third type of is the zero correlation. We can say that as far as zero correlation is concerned, there is no relationship between they are indifferent for the zero. If we have rate of return on vertical axis, we have for the asset A, and we have rate of return for the asset B along horizontal axis, we can say that we have a horizontal line which is indicating the correlation between RA and RB. This line indicates the correlation between RA and RB. We can say for the fixed return of RA, we find an increase in the return on the asset B. And similarly, we can see that if the direction of this is like this, if the direction of the correlation is like this, we can say that for fixed returns on B asset, we are going to have increasing return on the asset A. So it is very good, or it is a rational decision to keep such assets A and B in the portfolio and to purchase these assets A and B and to make them as a part of the portfolio holding, because there is because they are indifferent to each other and they are not having any positive relationship with each other. So we can say that they are not going to harm the intentions and the objectives of the individual investors as far as the optimization of the benefit is concerned and minimization of the cost is concerned. We are continuing with the topic risk and return. The covariance primarily provides information to the investor about whether the relationship between asset is positive, negative or zero. So as we are discussing the topic about the returns of the investment and risk associated for the investment, we can see that first thing that the covariance can, or the association of the returns of the assets or interrelationship of returns of the asset can make clear and can inform the investor is that whether the relationship exists or not, whether or not the relationship exists between two assets, कि relationship जो है वो दो assets के return के दरमियान में मौजूद है कि नहीं, और अगर है तो what is the nature. Second is what is the nature of the return, इसकी nature क्या है, और that is what type of trends it will indicate, ये positive है और negative type of relationship जो है वो exist कर रहा है, या zero nature जो है वो relationship की prevail कर रही है between two assets. So we can say when the covariance is positive, the correlation coefficient will be positive. So as we discussed a little in the last lecture, when the correlation coefficient is positive, it is going to have, that is the degree of correlation coefficient has close relationship with the covariance. What is the strength of the correlation coefficient between the prevailing between the returns of two assets? It is closely related to the covariance. We can say if the value of the covariance is positive, if value of the covariance is positive between the returns of two assets, we can say that the correlation coefficient will be positive. So it will lead to indicate positive correlation coefficient between the two assets. Or we can say when the value of covariance is negative, जब इन दोनों के दरमियान में negative covariance होता है, return of asset A and return of asset B, they are indicating negative covariance. This indicates that the correlation coefficient of the two assets will be negative. और RA and RB के दरमियान में जो correlation coefficient पाया जाता है, that will be a negative sign. Then, but using correlation coefficient instead of covariance, investor can immediately assess the degree of association between the assets return. Therefore, we can say that with the help of the correlation coefficient, with the help of the magnitude of the correlation lying between the two assets return, RA and RB, individual can assess the situation, can assess the environment of relationship between the two assets, that what is the degree of association. He or she can come to know what is the degree of association lying between the returns of two assets. Correlation coefficient या magnitude of correlation coefficient, the strength of correlation coefficient can make the situation clear to the investor as far as the returns are concerned, as far as the benefit associated with the investment is concerned, that what is the degree of the association. इनके दरमियान में positive relationship है या negative relationship है या zero relationship lie कर रहा है. What is the degree of relationship? If the relationship is positive, what is the degree of association? अगर negative है, what is the degree of association? And अगर zero है तो फिर तो definitely it is zero. और जो है degree of association or relationship can enable the individual investor to move in right direction, can help the individual investor to undertake the right decision at right time, as far as the choice of different holdings is concerned, as far as the choice of different instruments is concerned, which are going with the individual investor is going to keep in his portfolio and is going to make them as a part of his portfolio. Therefore, we can say that this concept, this measurement of the association of the returns of assets is very much important to make the situation clear to the, and provides important guideline to the investor to make their investments and to think about their future and to undertake right decisions for their future time period. And if whether they are positive, whether they are negative or zero, they will enable the individual to make the right decision, and he will be able to make good decision as a rational investors, as a rational individual, and in order to optimize his behavior by maximizing the benefit and minimizing the risk or the cost of investment. The concept of cost of determination shows that how much volatility in the returns of one asset can be associated the volatility in the returns of the other asset. So we can say that coefficient of determination has another important feature, that it tells us that how much is the variation between the return of one asset and how much it is associated with the returns of the other asset. For example, if we try to plot this relationship, we can say if RA, asset return of the asset A is this, and if the return of the asset B is indicated by RB, so we can, if we plot the relationship trend of the RA at different time periods, let's say if we have the first day of the investment, second day of the investment, we have third day of the investment, and so on. If we move onwards, we can say that RA line indicates the trends of the movement in the trends of the returns on the asset A. We see that it is increasing. The returns on the asset A, it is continuously increasing with the increase in the time of the investment, or with the little volatility, with the little movements, ups and down movement, it is continuously increasing. We can say that returns on the asset A is showing positive and upward sloping behavior with little and small fluctuations observed by it. Similarly, if we look at this, the behavior of the second type of returns, which are returns on the asset B, let's say it is again indicating this type of behavior. We can analyze over here that RA shows very small changes and is positively sloped. ये ऊपर की तरफ जा रहा है और positively sloped, where it is indicating very small fluctuations and small ups and downs with the passage of the time. Or if we look at the B, we can say it is also having similar positive direction. It is moving in the positive direction as well. But what is the difference between the two? That the returns on the asset B are showing little bit more fluctuations. तो इसमें थोड़ी सारी और फ्लक्चुएशंस हो रही हैं, फ्लक्चुएशन थोड़ी सारी ज़्यादा हैं, वाइड है as compared to the fluctuations in the rate of return on the asset A. तो from this we can find out the relationship between the two. हमें इन दोनों का रिलेशनशिप जो है वो पता चल जाता है, इन दोनों में कोवेरियंस कितना है, कोवेरियंस का जो वैल्यू है वो कितनी आई है इन दोनों के दरम्यान में, कोवेरियंस बिटवीन आर ए एंड आर बी, इसका मैग्नीट्यूड इन दोनों के दरम्यान में कितना आया है. वी कैन कम टू नो अबाउट दिस सिचुएशन. So this is helpful to guide an individual in this direction. Similarly, if it is negative or not negative, whether it is positive or negative, this diagram was indicating the positive relationship between the two curves. लेकिन if we draw again another diagram और हम कहते हैं कि negative जो RA जो इसका trend negative है with the passage of time, अगर if we take time on horizontal axis, if we take RA on the vertical axis, तो we assume कि with the passage of time return on the asset A are declining with the small fluctuations. इसमें small fluctuations हो रही हैं लेकिन it is continuously declining. So we can have another type of return. For example, the return on asset B. Again, we can see that return on asset B, they are again declining, and it is moving parallel, more or less parallel to the fluctuations in the returns of asset A. But again, in this case, we can indicate that B has little bit more fluctuations, more changes in the prices of the asset B or the returns of the asset B. So we can say both are having an important relationship. Both return on the asset A and asset B, returns on the asset B, they are having important relationship and association. Both are declining throughout the time period. For example, if we take the time of 1 month, अगर हम एक महीने की डेली की observations ले, तो we can say they are moving in a similar downward direction. Both of them, लेकिन और with little bit fluctuations, किसी टाइम जो है वो आर बढ़ जाता है थोड़ा सा और फिर कम हो जाता है, लेकिन जो आर बी की फ्लक्चुएशंस हैं वो ज़रा ज़्यादा हैं, वो थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा पड़ रहा है और थोड़ा सा जब कम होता है तो ज़रा रिलेटिवली इसकी प्राइस जो है वो ज़्यादा डाउन होती है. तो फॉर एग्जांपल वी कैन रीड्रॉ, वी कैन हैव अनदर एग्जांपल फॉर दिस. लेट्स से हम कहते हैं कि आर ए जो है along horizontal axis, again we have time, and along vertical axis we have returns RA and RB. और if we plot a diagram for RA, अगर हम RA के लिए plot करें, let's say we have this type of situation, or this can indicate the trend in the return of the asset A. RA trends in the returns of the asset A, we can see that it is again showing upward movement. Continuously it is increasing, लेकिन कहीं we are observing a sharp decline. Let's say this is the mid of the month, this is the 13th day of the month, और इसमें we see that the return has gone down much more. इसमें ज़्यादा वेरिएबिलिटी हमने इंडिकेट की है, ज़्यादा फ्लक्चुएशन हमने डाउनवर्ड फ्लक्चुएशन इंडिकेट की. उसके बाद हमने कहा है कि अगला जो दिन आता है, लेट्स से इट इज़ द 16th डे ऑफ द मंथ, इसमें बहुत काफ़ी फ्लक्चुएशन आई है. लेट्स से अगर जो डाउनवर्ड टर्न है उसको हम ई से इंडिकेट करें और अपवर्ड टर्न को हम एफ से इंडिकेट करें, तो देयर इज शार्प चेंज. और सिमिलरली हम अगर एक पॉइंट हमारे पास हमने डी का है, हाउ वी कैन कंपेयर द फ्लक्चुएशंस बिटवीन डी, ई एंड एफ। इनको हम इस तरह से फ्लक्चुएशन कर सकते हैं, लेट्स से वी कैन से दिस डी इज इंडिकेटिंग द 11th डे ऑफ द मंथ। अगर ये महीने की 11 तारीख है तो इस तारीख को जो है वो डी पॉइंट के ऊपर रेट ऑफ रिटर्न काफ़ी हाई था फॉर द एसेट ए, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द एसेट ए। लेकिन जो अगला 13th था, 13th डे 13 तारीख को वी कैन ऑब्जर्व दैट रेट ऑफ रिटर्न इज शोइंग डाउनवर्ड वोलेटिलिटी। इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा नीचे की तरफ जो है वो ट्रेंड हमने ऑब्जर्व किया है और वी आर एट द पॉइंट ई। एट पॉइंट ई के ऊपर रेट ऑफ रिटर्न इज टू लो, बट सम पॉजिटिव फैक्टर्स में इमर्ज, जैसे कुछ पॉजिटिव स्टेबिलिटी इन द इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन इन द कंट्री, स्टेबिलिटी इन द पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन इन द कंट्री में लीड द रेट ऑफ रिटर्न ऑन द एसेट ए अप इन द अपवर्ड डायरेक्शन। ये फिर ऊपर की तरफ चला गया, वी आर एट द पॉइंट एफ। हम एफ के ऊपर हैं और एफ के ऊपर वी अगेन सी दैट वी आर ऑब्जर्विंग हाई रेट ऑफ रिटर्न फॉर द एसेट ए। और सिमिलरली आगे हम afterwards after this mid of the month we can again observe decline and fluctuations in the rate of return of the asset A. Sometimes it decline, it may go upward, sometime it is going downward। और fluctuation जो है वो कहीं कहीं कुछ ज़्यादा नज़र आ रही है डाउनवर्ड और अपवर्ड। कहीं ये ज़्यादा कम हो जाता है, कहीं ये ज़रा ज़्यादा से जो है वो डाउन हो जाता है। सिमिलरली अगर हम बी का ट्रेंड देखें, लेट्स से we can observe like this, और what is we can observe the similar type of changes। कहीं रेट ऑफ रिटर्न ऑफ बी जो है वो बहुत कम हो गया और कहीं जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा हो गया। बट what we want to see here is, we want to see is that कि इन दोनों के दरमियान में क्या इन रिलेशनशिप क्या है, इन दोनों के दरमियान में व्हाट इज द एसोसिएशन ऑफ वोलेटिलिटी। फॉर एग्जांपल दिस इज द रेट ऑफ रिटर्न फॉर ए और दिस इज द रेट ऑफ रिटर्न फॉर बी, और हम ये देखते हैं कि दे आर मूविंग ऑलमोस्ट इन सिमिलर डायरेक्शन। वोलेटिलिटी जो है वो भी सेम है, उनके जब अपवर्ड जाते हैं तो दोनों विद लिटिल चेंजेस विद स्मॉल डिफरेंस दोनों का अपवर्ड ट्रेंड है। जब वो डाउनवर्ड आते हैं विद स्मॉल डिफरेंस दोनों का सेम डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड है। तो वी कैन से दैट वोलेटिलिटी दे आर द रिटर्न्स ऑन बोथ एसेट्स ए एंड बी, दे आर ऑब्जर्विंग सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ वोलेटिलिटी। उनमें एक ही तरह की वोलेटिलिटी जो है वो देखने में आई है। So we can say that coefficient of determination shows how much variability in the returns of one asset can be associated with variability in the returns of the other assets। अगर दो वेरिएबल्स जो हैं वो by nature they are associated with each other, अगर वो दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ मैच करते हैं और इकोनॉमिक और पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन इफेक्ट देयर रिटर्न्स इन अ सिमिलर वे एंड इन अ सिमिलर पैटर्न, तो कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ डिटरमिनेशन कैन कैप्चर द सिचुएशन, कैन कैप्चर दीज टाइप ऑफ फ्लक्चुएशंस कि उन दोनों की वेरिएबिलिटी जो है वो किस तरह से हो रही है। अगर एक नेगेटिव में जा रहा है तो दूसरा भी नेगेटिव में जा रहा है, अगर एक पॉजिटिव में जा रहा है तो दूसरा भी जा रहा है, और फॉर हाउ मच, कितने टाइम पीरियड के लिए। अगर वो उन्होंने पॉजिटिव ट्रेंड शो किया है, दे आर इंडिकेटिंग हाई रिटर्न, तो कितने टाइम पीरियड के लिए एंड हाउ मच, और कितना रिटर्न है, कितना इंक्रीज आया रिटर्न पे। और अगर वो डाउनवर्ड उन्होंने ट्रेंड शो किया है तो हाउ मच, कितना डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड शो किया है और कितने टाइम पीरियड के लिए। वो 1 वीक का डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड था, 2 वीक्स का था, वो 1 मंथ का डाउनवर्ड ट्रेंड था, और कितनी डिक्लाइन आई थी, पॉजिटिव जो इंक्रीज आई थी वो कितनी आई थी। कोएफिशिएंट ऑफ डिटरमिनेशन ऑफ कोरिलेशन हेल्प अस टू फाइंड आउट द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ द वोलेटिलिटी ऑफ द टू रिटर्न्स, returns out of the two returns, that is the returns on two assets, asset A and asset B, or we can say this is very much important information, this is very much important discussion in order to guide the individual investor as a rational investor, as a rational decision maker to buy and to decide about the purchases of their portfolios items, what items to be keep in portfolio and what not to be keep in the portfolio, right? The first one we observed that positive trend of the two assets, we have recommended that these assets should not be kept in the portfolio, और हमें वो रखने चाहिए जिनका नेगेटिव रिलेशनशिप हो। उसके हमने रिस्क की बात की थी, और इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द वेरिएबिलिटी एंड वोलेटिलिटी के उनकी वेरिएबिलिटी पे अगर वो दोनों कम हो रहे हैं तो वो इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं, ज्यादा हो रहे हैं तो इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं। दिस इज अगेन वी कैन से दैट दिस इज ए क्रिटिकल सिचुएशन एंड वी शुड विदाउट एज ए रैशनल इन्वेस्टर बिफोर मेकिंग द परचेजेस portfolio items and before making our investment and deciding deciding to purchase the different items and investing in different items, we should carefully analyze the situation, and we should carefully analyze the trends and behavior of return of assets, the past behavior as well as the future behavior, because we can measure the past with the help of sample, and we can measure the predict the future time period also, and all this discussion can be helpful to guide us in to go in the right direction, to take the right decisions at the right time, and definitely will make the investor capable and able to earn maximum out of his investment with the minimum possible cost. The interpretation of this number for the investor is that if the returns on two assets are perfectly correlated. So what is the significance of interpretation of coefficient of determination? That they guide the individual investor as far as the returns are concerned, that whether they are perfectly correlated or not, or if they are perfectly correlated, that it indicates us throughout the time period of investment their trend is moving in similar direction and their returns are moving in similar direction. This tells us that they are perfectly correlated. So whether they are perfect positive or perfect negative is also important. So we can say the coefficient of determination will be equal to 100% if they indicate positive correlation, perfect positive correlation. If the returns on two assets exhibit and indicate perfect correlation, we can say that coefficient of determination will be equal to 100%. Or then it again depends upon whether this perfect correlation is in negative side or it is on positive side. In such a case, if the investor knows that what will be the changes in the returns of one asset, so what will be the changes in the returns of, or through with this situation, with the analysis of this situation, with the measurement of these important measures, we can find out, the investor can come to know that what type of changes will any asset observe in this, or what type of changes any asset will face as far as the returns are concerned on the course of the investment. He or she should predict exactly the return of the other asset, and also if with the help of the coefficient of determination and with the help of the association of the returns of the assets, the individual investor can also come to know and can also predict about the returns of the other assets, कि दूसरे एसेट जो है उनके रिटर्न जो है वो क्या होंगे, और जो दूसरे एसेट्स हैं उनकी सिचुएशन जो है वो क्या होगी, whether they will should be purchased to keep in the portfolio or not. Relationship between the returns on stock and market portfolio. What is the relationship between the returns on stock and market portfolio? Investors pick the investment relevant assets to investment portfolio on the basis of what? What are the factors which enable the individual investor to decide about his portfolio items? कौन कौन सी चीज आइटम जो हैं, कौन कौन से एसेट्स, कौन कौन से टूल्स एंड इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स इंडिविजुअल इन्वेस्टर शुड कीप इन हिज पोर्टफोलियो डिपेंड्स अपॉन their risk and their return characteristics, as we are discussing, because the nature of the course is such that we have to discuss and we have to make the factors clarify as far as the investment and feasible investment and efficient investment is concerned. Risk, the concept of risk, the element of risk, the element of return, they will be with us, and we will continue to discuss the advantages of return and the harms and fears associated with the risk of any type of investment. Therefore, we can say that what is the relationship between the return of any stock and the market portfolio. The investor decision will be based on what? The investor's decision will be based on the risk and on return characteristics of the assets and stocks. And the second, on the assessment of the relationship of their returns. And the first important is what is the particular return of any asset? What is the particular return of any other asset which he can think or can decide to keep in his portfolio? Second is the element of fear associated with with the purchase of, with the keeping of one asset in the portfolio, or the element of risk associated with keeping another factor in his portfolio. Then what is the second important point? The assessment of relationship of their returns. What is the relationship of of different returns of the assets and how the investor can assess. इन्वेस्टर जो है वो उनका कैसे पता चला सकता है और how the investor can analyze the situation with the help of a relationship of the returns. Investor must decide and must consider to the following facts that the assets are traded in the market. First of all, what factors the investor should take into account, what factors the investor should take into consideration when making his decision about the portfolio holding. First is whether the assets are traded in the market, कि जो asset जो है वो he is going to think in order to purchase, वो मार्केट में ट्रेड हो रहे हैं कि नहीं हो रहे हैं. ऐसा तो नहीं है कोई ऐसा एसेट है जो अभी न्यूली मार्केट में आया है, जो इसकी कोई ट्रेड नहीं हुई, इसकी परचेज एंड सेल नहीं हुई, इसकी रीपरचेज और रीसेल नहीं हुई. द इन्वेस्टर शुड बी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट द चॉइस ऑफ एसेट्स एज फार एज the trade of the assets or the past trade and past behavior of assets is concerned. Therefore, investor must take into account this fact that whether the assets is already being traded in the market or not. Then, what is the relationship between the returns on an asset and returns in the whole market? Then, he should take into account that what is the relationship between the trends of any one asset he is thinking to purchase and the returns on in the whole market. इसको हम portfolio कहते हैं, market portfolio. कि market portfolio indicates कि what are the other assets which the investors in the market have been keeping in their portfolio. किन assets को मार्केट में जितने इन्वेस्टर्स हैं उन्होंने अपने पोर्टफोलियो में रखा है. इट इज़ नोन एज मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो कि ओवरऑल जो जितने एसेट्स हैं वो मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो में कितनी दफ़ा आए हैं या उनका रीपरचेज और रीसेल का जो पास बिहेवियर है या पास रिकॉर्ड है वो क्या है. तो व्हाट इज द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द रिटर्न्स ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर एसेट एंड द रिटर्न्स ऑफ अदर एसेट प्रिवेलिंग इन द मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि ये एसेट जो है जब इसका रिटर्न ज़्यादा होता है तो बाकी मार्केट गिर जाती है. देर आर मे बी रेयर एसेट्स के कुछ एसेट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो मार्केट के ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में जा रहे होते हैं, मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो की ऑपोजिट डायरेक्शन में जा रहे होते हैं. कुछ ऐसे होते हैं जबकि एडवर्स सिचुएशन प्रिवेल कर रही होती है, एडवर्स इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन प्रिवेल कर रही होती है, इंस्टेबिलिटी इन दी पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर्स प्रिवेल कर रही होती है, तो उनका ट्रेंड जो है वो हाई होता है और वो जो है वो पॉजिटिव ट्रेंड इंडिकेट करते हैं. दे एग्जिबिट हाई रेट ऑफ रिटर्न. और कुछ ऐसे होते हैं जो कि मार्केट के एडवर्स सिचुएशन के साथ चलते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ द नेगेटिव इकोनॉमिक फैक्टर्स एंड एडवर्स पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन एंड इनस्टेबिलिटी इन द इकोनॉमिक एंड पॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन इज गोइंग टू इफेक्ट द फाइनेंशियल मार्केट एंड द बिहेवियर ऑफ दीज पर्टिकुलर मार्केट एसेट्स फॉलो दैट सिचुएशन. उनकी प्राइसेस जो है वो भी गिर जाती हैं, उनके रेट ऑफ रिटर्न जो है वो गिर जाते हैं. लेकिन कुछ एक्सेप्शनल एसेट्स होते हैं जिनके बिहेवियर किसी और फैक्टर से इफेक्ट होते हैं रादर के सिचुएशन ऑफ द मार्केट एंड सिचुएशन ऑफ पॉलिटिकल एंड द इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी प्रिवेलिंग इन द कंट्री. तो द इन्वेस्टर शुड टेक इनटू कंसिडरेशन दीज इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स बिफोर टेकिंग डिसीजन अबाउट द परचेज ऑफ डिफरेंट आइटम्स टू कीप देम इन हिज पोर्टफोलियो, ताकि he will be able, definitely he can take the right decision, he can take the best decision in order to make the optimum decision of portfolio holdings so that he can extract maximum benefit out of his holdings and with the minimum risk associated. Continuing with the similar discussion, we have the characteristics line and beta factor. We have two new concepts. One is the characteristic line and the other one is beta factor. Before examining the relationship between specific assets and the market portfolio, the concept of market portfolio needs to be defined. कि हमें मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो और स्पेसिफिक एसेट के दरमियान में रिलेशनशिप को क्लैरिफाई करने से पहले वी शुड नो दी एंड वी शुड मेक दी मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो कॉन्सेप्ट क्लैरिफाई कि इसका ये क्या कॉन्सेप्ट है, इसका क्या मतलब है. व्हाट डू वी मीन बाय मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो. The theoretical interpretation of market portfolio. First of all, we will discuss what is the theoretical discussion about the market portfolio. Theory में हम market portfolio को क्या कहते हैं. Theoretical interpretation of market portfolio is that it involves every single risky asset in the global economic system. It involves every single risky asset in the global economic system and contains each asset in proportion to total market value of that asset relative to total value of all other assets. और जो एसेट है वो सिंगल रिस्क की एसेट है, और इन द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम वी आर टॉकिंग नॉट अबाउट द स्पेसिफिक इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम बट वी आर टॉकिंग हियर अबाउट द ग्लोबल इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम. वी आर because the internal economic situation, internal political situation, as well as external economic situation and external political situation is likely to affect the current market situation and current situation prevailing in the financial market. This concept we also discussed in the previous lectures, that how the market situation is concerned with this and associated and is affected by the domestic economic and political environment and international political and economic environment, and we discussed this in the environment of the financial markets. So we, as far as the theory of market portfolio is concerned, we can say that every single risky asset is involved in global economic system. Second is that each asset in proportion to total market value of the asset relative to total value of all other assets is known as value weighted portfolio. इसको value weighted portfolio कहते हैं. When we take the proportion of the market value of the asset to the total value of the other asset, this is known as weighted portfolio as far as the value is concerned. But going from conceptual to practical approach, how to measure the returns of the market. जब हम कॉन्सेप्ट से, थ्योरी से प्रैक्टिकल की बात करते हैं, तो हाउ वी कैन मेजर द रिटर्न्स ऑफ द मार्केट. Market portfolio in such a broad context, or in how we can discuss the value of total market value of the assets of the market, how we can discuss, we can calculate practically. Or because this is a broad context, this is indicating a broad understanding of the financial economic system and global economic system. So what is the concept? Concept is market index. That is, we can use the market index for this purpose. If we look at the stock market, तो stock market index we have, और हमें इस बात का पता है और हमने ये सुना भी, और we have observed कि जो market index for the stocks जो है वो कैसे fluctuate करता है, इसमें कैसे changes आती हैं, how market index is going to affect the overall, or is going to indicate, is going to represent the overall situation of the financial market, of the stock market prevailing on daily basis. और जो stock market index होता है वो कैसे एक एक घंटे के बाद, ये थोड़े थोड़े टाइम के बाद चेंज होता है, और on one day, और how we can look at the market index in aggregate for one day, or for some time period, for 1 week, or for 1 month, from which we can observe, and we can analyze the situation which have been prevailing in the stock market as far as different assets and returns on different assets are concerned. So we can say, in order to cope, in order to capture the effect of the overall market situation and the total value of the assets of the market, or the assets which are the part of the market portfolio, we should use the concept of the market index. Or this is very much important concept which can help us to understand this overall situation of the market rather than only one asset. Investors can think of the market portfolio as the ultimate market index. So we can say, what is market portfolio? Market portfolio can be used as the market index. That is the index which can provide us a guideline to understand the situation prevailing in the market in broad context, or in open understanding. That how we can understand the market portfolio in an open context. And if the investor follow his or her investment policy, makes the decision to invest, for example, only in stocks, so what is the situation? अगर उसका ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है, while making his investment policy, the objective of the investor is to purchase the stocks, to purchase some assets in a stock, so market portfolio practically can be presented by one of the available representative indexes in particular stock exchange. तो स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के जो इंडेक्स हैं वो सिचुएशन को इंडिकेट करते हैं. स्टॉक मार्केट के इंडेक्स जो हैं वो किसी भी पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक का और कंबाइंड ओवरऑल जो मार्केट है उसके स्टॉक का इंडेक्स जो है उसकी डायरेक्शन को और ट्रेंड को इंडिकेट करता है. और the most often the relationship between the asset return and market portfolio return is demonstrated and examined using the common stock as assets. तो कॉमन स्टॉक जो होते हैं, कॉमन स्टॉक वो होते हैं जो कॉमनली यूज्ड बाय दी बायर्स एज वेल एज सेलर्स, दैट इज जिनमें ट्रेड बहुत ज़्यादा होती है और विच आर with which both the buyer of the assets and seller of the assets they are comfortable, they feel comfortable at the same time. Or why they feel comfortable, what is the logic behind, as we also discussed in the previous lectures, that is the assets and the financial certificates with which we feel comfortable are those जिनमें से we are able to acquire and we are able to gain more capital, we are able to gain more benefit with the less risk and with the less cost associated. तो और common stock जो होते हैं वो होते हैं जिनके साथ both the purchaser as well as seller they feel comfortable. A purchaser does not feel much costly as far as the purchase is concerned, and the seller does not feel much feel them as a cheaper as far as the sale is concerned, and they are able to extract reasonable benefit, reasonable level of profit out of their purchase, out of their sale. Therefore, we can say the same concept can be used by analyzing the bonds or any other assets. So we can say in the financial markets, we can, if we talk about the stock market, one or the other assets can enable us and we can feel comfortable with them with their purchase, and in order to keep them in our portfolio by looking at their past behavior, by looking at the trend associated with them, कि they are likely to give benefit to the investor, if they are likely to give positive outcome for the investor, so investor will feel comfortable for them and will like to purchase them. और इसी तरह से बॉन्ड्स की बात है, इफ़ वी आर एबल टू गेट समथिंग, इफ़ वी आर एबल टू गेट पॉजिटिव रिटर्न आउट ऑफ द बॉन्ड्स, तो वी विल डेफिनेटली डू दिस. इफ़ वी आर able to find if we are able to earn positive earnings or income with the help of the purchase of securities and other things and certificates, so definitely we would like to keep our those items in our portfolio, and we would like to keep those assets and instruments in our portfolio, and definitely these types of decisions will enable us to have the optimum outcome of our portfolio holdings with the minimum cost associated. Then continuing the discussion with the characteristics line, with the given historical data about the returns on particular common stock. For example, RJ, if we assume that RJ is the return on common stock and the market index return is RM, and RM indicates the return on market index in the whole in this time period. In same period of time, the investor can draw the characteristics line. तो investor जो है वो उन दोनों के दरमियान में characteristic line draw कर सकता है by keeping the RA on the vertical axis, RG on vertical axis, and RM on horizontal axis. तो characteristic line is what? Characteristic line describes the relationship between stock and the market. कि market में और stock में क्या relationship है, characteristic line जो है वो ये indicate करती है. Just as we discussed before, the relationship between the returns of one asset and returns of the other asset, what is the association between the two? और हमने कहा in the light of the discussion of that association on the returns, the investor can decide to keep to purchase those assets in portfolio or not. Or in similar way, we can say that with the help of the characteristics line, we can be able to observe and analyze the situation prevailing between the return on one asset and the return on the other asset. So characteristic line, what it shows? It shows the returns investors expect the stock to produce, and given that a particular rate of return appears for the market, so we can say that this characteristic line, this can help the investor to expect that what return the stock, the particular stock he is going to purchase or he is going to demand will produce, given the particular rate of return appears in the market. Market के rate of return, overall rate of return का और जो particular stock है which is in the want of the portfolio of the investor, इनका आपस में क्या relationship है. So we can say further that characteristic line helps to assess the risk characteristics of one stock relative to the market. Market के साथ उसका risk जो है वो कितना है. Definitely if we analyze the return of any particular asset with respect to the market, so definitely we can analyze the risk element of risk and the factor of risk associated with the investment in particular stock and the overall market behavior of all these stocks. Then if we draw the figure, we can see that on the vertical axis we keep the returns on asset J. If we have we want to invest in particular stock which is indicated by stock J, we indicate it along vertical axis, and along horizontal axis we indicate the returns in the market, and all assets in the market are the market portfolio. So what type of relationship prevails between these two types of returns? For example, we say if we have on one hand we plot a returns of the stock J, and secondly we plot the returns on all stocks which are kept in the market portfolio indicated by RM. So whether the volatility between the two types of lines is moving in same direction or in different directions, and how much the volatility is prevailing in two types of the choices, and whether the trend is moving in same direction or trend is moving in different directions. If we look at the line of the RJ, we find that the RJ, the returns on the J stock is moving in the positive direction. Similarly, we can say that the returns on the market portfolio is moving in the positive direction, and both are moving with in upward direction with small fluctuations, with little fluctuations which are indicating upward and downward changes. And therefore we can say that when the market portfolio returns are moving in positive direction, the returns on this particular stock, they are following the similar trend. So we can say that they are following the trend prevailing in the market. The stock which is in the choice of the investor to keep in the portfolio follow the similar trend as that of the trends of the market portfolio, and they are not moving in the opposite direction. So therefore we can say that the characteristic line indicate this on one hand. Secondly, we can if we indicate the relationship on one diagram, so we can say that again we have along vertical axis we have RJ, returns on the stock J. Along horizontal axis we have returns on the market portfolio indicated by RMT, and we say that the line is moving upward. It indicates positive direction, which shows that when market portfolio returns are increasing, the returns on J stock are increasing. We can say they experience positive relationship that RM when increases, and it leads to increase the RJ. Both are moving in same direction, therefore we can say they are having positive association with each other. And this upward sloping line can be indicated as a characteristic line. For the stock's characteristic line as a straight line can be described by its slope. Slope of the line is the important, which indicates the behavior, how much is the change. For example, and first thing which is important to be considered is the slope, and second thing is the intercept. Slope and intercept, they are important to be considered by the individual investor. And what is the slope? Slope basically change in the vertical axis due to change in horizontal axis. What is the change in vertical axis resulting from change in horizontal axis variable? That is, if we have y on the vertical axis, we exhibit x on the horizontal axis. What is the change in y resulting from change in x gives us the slope of the line. And what is the intercept? Intercept is the point at which the vertical axis crosses. For example, if the line crosses, the characteristic line crosses the vertical axis, is known as intercept. Or this is the positively sloped line, as we in the previous plot as we discussed. And what is the slope? Slope is this, indicated by this triangle. Vertical change shows delta y, and horizontal change shows delta x. So we can say the change in delta y due to change in delta x is the slope of the line, is the slope of the characteristic line. Or these two concepts are important to be considered. Second, we are concerned too very much about the point where this characteristic line is intersecting the vertical axis, or let's say this is the point E. Point E के ऊपर ये vertical axis को intersect कर रहा है. ये this point is indicating the initial point, और ये वो point है जिसमें हम कहते हैं कि when returns on the market, if we have RM along the vertical horizontal axis and we have RJ along the vertical axis, so we can say that at this point, at the point E, we can say okay, this is the change, this is the value of rate of return on keeping the stock J when the rate of return on the market portfolio is equal to 0. So we can say, if we re-clarify this concept, we can say that if we redraw the diagram, this is the characteristic line. Here we have delta y over delta x, or in our case it is the delta Rj divided by delta Rm, or Rm market return is equal to is along horizontal axis, and Rj, which is the return on the stock, is along vertical axis. This is the point where we have intercept, और इस point को हमने E से indicate किया, और हमने कहा at this point E we say that OE is basically the return on J when Rm is equal to 0, that the return on the stock market is equal to 0, or the return on the market portfolio is equal to 0. Continuing with the discussion, that E point indicates the point where the characteristic line is intersecting the vertical axis Rj, and OE indicates the return on Rj when Rm is equal to 0, when the return on market portfolio is equal to 0. Then we move to the next, that the slope of the characteristic line is called the beta factor. So what is beta factor and the concept of beta factor? It is the slope of the line, or it is the slope of the for example the regression line or time series line or characteristics line. So what is beta j? Beta j is basically the beta factor for the stock j, and that can be calculated using this particular formula. हम इस formula के तहत we can calculate the beta j, जिसको हमने beta factor का, और beta factor shows the covariance between Rj and Rm के return on stock j और return on market portfolio में क्या covariance है. What is the correlation? इन दोनों के दरमियान में कितनी association है, कितना relationship है, और ये दो हमारे जो इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर हैं, एक जो आर जे है जिसको हमने कहा रिटर्न्स ऑन पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक जे, और एक जो है रिटर्न ऑन मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो. तो बीटा जे इज बेसिकली द रेशियो ऑफ कोवेरियंस बिटवीन आर जे एंड आर एम टू द वेरियंस आर ऑफ आर एम, के जो आर एम एस का वेरियंस क्या है, हाउ मच the actual situation in the market portfolio, actual situation second denominator indicate that how much the actual return on the market portfolio deviate from the expected return. So we can say that beta j is basically the ratio of the covariance between Rj and Rm to the variance of Rm, and variance of Rm tells us that how much the actual returns of the market portfolio varies from and differ from the expected returns from the market portfolio. And this is very much important concept, और इसी को बीटा, और this is also known as the slope, इसको हम slope भी कहते हैं, इसको it is also known as rate of change in covariance between Rj and Rm due to change in variance of Rm. So the beta factor of the stock is an indicator of the degree to which the stock reacts to the changes in the returns of market portfolio. So what is the beta factor? It is the slope, it is the rate of change for the stock. It indicates the degree, it indicates the level to which the stock reacts to the changes in the market portfolio. और हम इसको we can say that beta j basically indicates delta Rj due to delta Rs. Simple concept is this, that it tells us that how much is the change in Rj. Rj जो है वो कितना respond करता है to the due to any change in Rm, जिसको हमने market portfolio कहा कि how much it respond to the changes in the returns of market portfolio. So beta gives the answer to the investor how much the stock return will change कि स्टॉक रिटर्न जो है वो कितना चेंज होता है व्हेन द मार्केट रिटर्न विल चेंज बाय 1%, और दिस बेसिकली elaborate the situation, further clarify the situation and further clarify the concept of the individual for the investment, and individual investor can undertake a good and right investment by analyzing the situation, by considering all the situation and discussion and importance of all these measurements that we have been doing throughout this the discussion of risk and return for the investment and for the management of portfolio holdings. By taking into account all these concepts and making the analysis of these concepts clear, and considering the value and worth and significance of all these concepts as far as the investment is concerned, the individual investor will be able and will be capable to manage his portfolio in an efficient manner, that is in order to have maximum benefit out of his investment with the minimum possible risk, with the minimum possible cost associated. The concept of intercept is basically the point where characteristic line crosses through the vertical axis. जहाँ पे जो characteristic line है vertical axis को cross करती है is known as intercept. The interpretation of the intercept from the investor's point of view is that intercept shows that what would be the rate of return of the stock, particular stock J, if the rate of return in the market is 0. This is very much important and clarify concept. What is the importance of the intercept to the investor? What is the value and significance of the clarification of the intercept for the investor in the market? Because intercept tells us that what is the rate of return by investing in any particular stock, for example stock J, if the rate of return in the market portfolio is 0. अगर मार्केट पोर्टफोलियो जो है वो कुछ भी रिटर्न ना दे रही हो तो इस पर्टिकुलर जो पर्टिकुलर स्टॉक है व्हाट द रिटर्न we are the investor will be able to get out of this. Then we have the concept of residual variance. What is the concept of residual variance? What is residual variance? The characteristic line is a line of best fit through which some data points through which this data points passes. A characteristic line is what in statistics is called a time series regression line, or in reality the stock produces returns that deviate from the characteristic line. Or in statistics this is known as residual variance. For example, we say if we draw this line in this manner, or we say that this is our characteristic line, or we say that we are having this is the mean or expected returns. Expected returns of any asset of RJ, expected returns or RJ, or what we are expecting, या हम sometime हम इसको mean returns भी कहते हैं कि what is the mean returns or what is the what are the actual observations about these returns. These dots are indicating the actual returns on stock A with the passage of time. या फिर फॉर ऑल अदर फैक्टर्स, लेट्स से हम इसको कहते हैं, इसको मार्केट रिटर्न्स कह लें या कोई और फैक्टर्स आपने कह रहे हैं, इंडिविजुअल की इनकम कहनी है, जो भी कहना है, वी कैन कीप डिफरेंट फैक्टर्स ऑन दी हॉरिजॉन्टल एक्सिस और वर्टिकल एक्सिस के ऊपर हमने कहा रिटर्न्स ऑन स्पेसिफिक स्टॉक जे विच वी आर likely to purchase, or the investor is likely to purchase, or this regression line or characteristic line, this is the mean line, और इसको हम characteristic line भी कहते हैं, इसको time series line भी कहते हैं, और these dots are indicating actual observations of the returns on कि in actual हम क्या observe कर रहे हैं. Sometime we observe in actual the returns on J are below this expected line या regression line. Sometimes the actual observations are above, actual returns on J are above this mean line. बाज़ दफ़ा ये उससे ज़्यादा हैं, बाज़ दफ़ा उससे कम है. और जो बेस्ट फिट लाइन है उनसे ये रिग्रेशन लाइन जो है ये बेस्ट फिट लाइन है, और इसको हम कहते हैं कि तमाम के सेंटर में से गुजर रही है, या इसको मीन रिटर्न्स को इंडिकेट कर रही है, ऑन एवरेज रिटर्न्स को इंडिकेट कर रही है फॉर डिफरेंट टाइम पीरियड्स. तो what is the difference between this for particular time period, at any point, what is the difference between the mean rate of returns to the actual rate of return. इन दोनों के दरमियान में क्या डिफरेंस है, इस actual rate of return और मीन लाइन के दरमियान में क्या डिफरेंस है. What is difference between this actual rate of return on J and mean line? What is the difference between this and mean line? What is the difference between this observation of actual return and mean line? These are the residuals. जितना we are deviating, the actual observations are deviating away from the mean line are known as residual. इन सब को रेजिड्यूल कहते हैं कि एक्चुअल ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ रिटर्न एंड मीन ऑब्जर्वेशन ऑफ रिटर्न्स का आपस में क्या डिफरेंस है. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दी टू, इनके दरमियान में जो डिफरेंस है उसको हम कहते हैं कि ये रेजिड्यूल को इंडिकेट करता है. इसको हम रेजिड्यूल को हम क्या कहते हैं, कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ रेजिड्यूल इज नोन एज एरर आल्सो. हम इसको एरर भी कहते हैं और ये ऊपर की तरफ भी जा रहे हैं और इस लाइन के कम भी जा रहे हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल हम कहते हैं कि जो हमारा मीन रिटर्न है आर बार से हम इसको इंडिकेट कर लेते हैं, आर बार से हम इसको इंडिकेट करते हैं. हम कहते हैं इट इज फॉर एग्जांपल 80 और यहाँ पे हमारा जो आर जे की डिफरेंट ऑब्जर्वेशन है एक पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे, फर्स्ट डे अगर हम कहें, सेकेंड डे अगर हम कहें, थर्ड डे कहें. फॉर फर्स्ट डे वी कैन से फॉर एग्जांपल द ऑब्जर्वेशन इज एट 50, at second day it is equal to 60, at the third day we can say observation is equal to 90, and the average mean value is with the passage of time, it is for specific time period we can take for example the mean for 1 week and mean value for the next third week of the month, mean value for the fourth month of the week. So we can best fit the line to all these mean values of returns on the stock J. And if we look at and analyze the relationship between actual observations of rate of return on stock J and the mean observations of rate of return on the stock J, so we can find what is the relationship between. Sometimes we find that the rate of returns on particular stock J, they are lying below the mean value of J, and at the other time we find that they are lying above the mean value of J. So these are known as when they are less than mean value of the returns, we can say that negative residual is prevailing there. When they are higher, we can say positive residual is lying over there. So we can take the average of all these mean, and at the end we can analyze that the mean value of the error is also become 0. This is the assumption that mean value जब हम सारे errors को या residuals को plus और minus करते हैं तो जो aggregate mean आता है residuals का जो sum divided by n is equal to 0, ये 0 आ जाता है. लेकिन up to here we discuss the concept कि इनका आपस में क्या relationship है, what is the residual, what is the concept of error. वो ये है कि deviation of the actual observations of rate of return on the specific capital stock J जिसको at different times from the mean value of the rate of return on the stock J is known as residual. The characteristic line is line best of it. ये जो हमारी line characteristic line है जिसको हमने regression line time series भी कहा, जिसको हमने जो है अपनी fitted line भी कहा. This line is basically best fit line. It is best fitted to the data, and we can estimate this with the help of, and we can fit this with the help of the computer packages. Now, but in reality the stock produces returns that deviate from the characteristic line, or in statistics this propensity is called the residual variance. The concept of, what is the concept of the regression line, or the concept of regression line is this, that we have drawn a line which is moving from left to right in upward direction, and we can also draw the slope of this like in this way, delta y over delta x. This is the slope, here is the intercept, and all the deviated values, actual observations from this line, they are indicating the residuals. All these are the values of residuals. If we further analyze the situation, if we further discuss the situation, we can come to know that sum of errors, all these errors are residual divided by number of observations is equal to 0. This is the assumptions. Okay, at the end the sum becomes 0. But up till now we can say the concept of residual is this. जितना हम deviate करेंगे उतना जो है वो residual जो है उसका concept ज़्यादा होगा. और that is it with the 2 days lectures, and we will continue with the next lecture inshallah in next sitting. And what we discuss at the end of the lecture, I will I will summarize the point what we have discussed over here. And as far as our course is the investment and portfolio management, we have been discussing the factors associated with the investment, are the factors which are important to be analyzed, which are important to be discussed as far as the investment is concerned, as far as the portfolio holdings and the efficient decision about the portfolio holdings of the investor is concerned. And we have been discussing the concept of risk and return, and we found that it is important to be very clear about the returns or the benefit associated with any asset to be invested, with any asset to be purchased, and the risk associated with any asset. And we discussed the positive and negative correlation, the meaning of positive negative correlation, and with respect to returns of different assets, and the perfect positive and perfect negative correlation. We try to draw and make the concepts clear with the plot of different curves, and we discuss the zero correlation between the returns of assets, degree of association of the relationship, okay, what was the degree and what was the coefficient of determination, what was the importance of coefficient of determination while deciding to purchase any assets to keep in our portfolio holdings. And we discuss the market portfolio, importance of market portfolio, and discuss the market index also. And we also try to discuss and elaborate the relationship between the rate of returns on investment in any particular asset and the rate of return from the market portfolio, and in which direction they are likely to move, what type of possible volatility can indicate if there is volatility in the trends of the returns of particular stock, and the volatility in the returns of the market portfolio, and what is the rate of return, what type of rate of return the investor can have by investing in the particular stock, for example J, when the rate of return on all the assets present in the market portfolio are equal to 0. That's it with the 2 days lectures. Inshallah, we will continue in our next lecture, and we will try to make the further concepts as far as the return and risk is concerned, and as far as we will try to analyze the further situations and factors associated with the best and optimal and efficient investment in order to have the efficient and optimal portfolio set at the end. That's it. I hope and I expect that you will be able to understand and clarify the concepts with the help of all these discussions that we have made during this lecture and in the previous lectures. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.